Hello everyone, this is Chelsea from Those with Words. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share a journal with me session on a recent San Francisco outing that I had in this passport-sized traveler's notebook refill. I haven't journaled in this particular refill in quite some time. I used to use it a few years ago for collaging and quotes like this spread right here, but I haven't touched it in quite some time. So in addition to memory keeping already in my standard or regular size traveler's notebook, I thought I would skip a page in this passport size traveler's notebook and make a spread with some extra photos and draw a little bit. I'm going to first use this Traveler's Company brass clip to make sure that the notebook stays open. I have some photos right here from the outing. I got to meet up with a good friend because they were in town for a wedding. And even though it was a short outing, I really appreciated the time I spent with them that day. So I wanted to do something fun in this particular spread. What I'm planning to do with these photos is I'm taking a piece of washi tape and I'm putting it on the backs of these photos so that I can fold them in like a little accordion on the left-hand side of the page. I have done this before in my regular size traveler's notebook, but a lot of the photos were very personal, so I didn't really get to share that with you too much on YouTube, I feel like. So I think this is a really fun demonstration of what I like to do with my photos when I want a lot of photos, but I only have a small space to keep them in. I should also note that I don't mind my pages getting really chunky and my notebooks, getting really thick from photos and ephemera and various types of memory keeping. So obviously, if you do this type of little accordion on multiple pages throughout your notebook, things are going to get pretty chunky really quickly. But I don't mind that. I think it's a really great sign of just having lots of memories stored within my notebook. Then I have some double-sided tape here from Daiso, and I'm just putting it on 3 sides of the back of the photo that I'm going to paste down, so that the washi tape side can still act and move around as the accordion. I'm going to go ahead and center it right here so that I can fold it going out to the left side, like so. Something else I like to do when I make like a little photo accordion like this is creating a little tab. I have these really beautiful scrap papers from a letterpress shop that I found in San Francisco, and I'm just going to take one of the little pieces and cut out a small tab. So I'm making this myself. And it's just really simple. I just really happen to like this coral salmon color here. So I'm just going to cut it to the right size and round the corners manually with my scissors. And then I'm going to put that on top of the photo, or the leftmost photo, I should say, so that I'll be able to use that as like a little pull-out tab. This stapler I got from the stationery selection a long time ago, and it's actually really cool because it stays completely flat until you activate this little mechanism to make it into an active stapler. So I just wanted to show you that because I really like that mechanism. And I'm just going to staple that little tab onto the photo. And that is it for like a little pull-out tab. So that's what it looks like, and now I can use it to pull out the photo accordion much more easily. Next up, I'm going to stamp some dates. And I have a couple other stamps out here as well that I wanted to decorate the page with, but I think I get to that a little bit later. I'm using the Shachihara sand color for the stamp ink pad. And the numbers, the stamps are also from Shachihara as well. And if you're noticing anything on the screen, like I have during this voiceover, is that I completely stamped the wrong year. I put 2023 instead of 2024. I do realize this later in the video and I do fix it, and I included that part as well. So we will get there when we get there. But for now, it's just going to be 2023 for a little bit. On the right-hand side, what I'm doing is I am sketching out the streets that my friend and I met up on. The few locations that we explored in San Francisco, Japantown were all sort of right next to each other. And so I just found it on Google Maps and I just ended up drawing the locations out a little bit. And a lot of this particular style is inspired by Traveler's Company and the way that they really draw out the streets and different landmarks and things in their official Instagram posts. I thought they looked really cool, so I wanted to take a page out of that and just draw my own little street marks. After sketching them in pencil, I'm going to go over them in my favorite Uni Pen fine line. This is in the 0.1, so it's pretty thin. But I really enjoy this pen, and I've had it with me for quite some time now, and it's still going strong. So I really do enjoy it for just making sure that I can watercolor over my drawings. And it's just a really good fine liner. Sometimes I even use it to address happy mail. So when I'm sending mail to people, because I know that it's not going to get affected, even if there's like a drop of water on the envelope during transit, it's not really going to, blur the address or anything like that. So I like it for that too, actually. The fine liner doesn't take that long to dry, but I do like to leave it for a little bit. So in the meantime, I am looking in my PT tape collection, or the samples that I have. Some are washi tapes in here as well. And I'm just looking through and picking out a few things that I want to use as decoration. And what I really like about PET tapes, if you didn't know already, is that I can cut out little pieces like this and use them basically like stickers. So I have cut out 2 pieces. One is like a little bread piece, and then this other one is a little person holding up a plate because we had a delicious lunch together. So I wanted to use those 2. I'm also pulling out some of my other washi tapes to decorate the edges of the page a little bit more. Because as is, I just felt like the pages needed a little more color. And I'm going to put down that little piece of bread right here. We did get to go to a bakery right after lunch. And I remember buying some stuff to share back home as well. So that's what the little bread is for. And then I'm putting down another piece of washi tape on the right bottom hand side. And there's some nice room right there for that little PET piece, so that's where it's going to go. And I'm pretty sure the fine liner is as dry as it can be now, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase the pencil lines with my eraser. Next up, I'm going to stamp a few things. This particular one is like a person taking a photo, and it's by Plain, the brand. And there are a series of these stamps, and I just have a few of them, but I really do enjoy how small they are. And despite how tiny they are very well made. So they have a lot of definition once you put them down onto the page, and the details are not lost, which I think is really cool. So I put that down on the left hand side. And then this particular Kuru Kinki stamp called Record, I actually really like the font and the little record circle next to it. And typically, you know, maybe I would use this for like recording for YouTube or something like that, but I took this as like a little recording of memories. That's kind of how I wanted to interpret and use this stamp on the right hand side. So that's what I did. And then I'm just kind of showing you how the stamps turned out. And then I believe this is where I realized that I put down, yes, this is where I realized I put down 2023 instead of 2024. So I switched my gears to working on fixing that. I took out more of the scrap papers that I used before. This is the same pack that I used to make like that little pull-out tab for my photos. And I cut out a little piece that perfectly covers the date that I had previously stamped down. So what I'm going to do now is just stamp the correct date on that particular piece of paper, and I'm just gonna glue it back on top. And in order to do that, I'm just going to use some double-sided tape just to make it really easy, because this piece of scrap paper is actually not that wide the way I cut it. And now it looks like I did it on purpose, that there's a little more color around the year, month, and date, but it really originated from a silly mistake I made, and I just wanted to keep the footage in here because stuff like this happens all the time when I journal, and this is really my process. Now that the pencil lines are gone on the right hand side, I'm pulling out my Art Toolkit palette with my Pentel water brush, and I'm just mixing a few red colors here, and I'm coloring in like the location markers. And there are 3 location markers here. So I went ahead and did that, and right there I smudged my 3rd location marker with my pinky. It's funny because when I'm doing this voiceover, I can see exactly what happened, but at the time I didn't realize what had exactly smudged that little piece. But again, that's okay. That's just part of the process. And I couldn't quite figure out how to remove it. It had already dried by the time I tried to kind of get it out with my water brush. So that's okay. That's just going to stay there. And I'm lettering SF Outing with my Sailor Shikiori markers, which I keep in my Corn pencil case or pen case. I really, really enjoy these for writing down headings, so I went ahead and did that. And now I'm looking for some small stickers to just decorate the rest of the pages. There's this one bread sticker, there are 2 of them. It's really cute, so I went ahead and used that. And then I thought what would actually be a really great fit is this Traveler's Town theme sticker. This is the 2024 sticker set from Traveler's Company. And I really loved the Traveler's Town theme this year, so I went ahead and bought them. and I decided to put that Traveler's Town flag in a slightly tilted way. And I really like how that turned out. I'm also using these little flowers, and these are transfer stickers. So I'm using my bone folder to put them down here just for a little more color and fun look on the left-hand side. I'm also going back in with my Art Toolkit palette, and I am just coloring in the streets and the little buildings that I drew in, just because I wanted to give those areas a little more warmth. I also took out my Rush-On Petite markers. These are water-based markers, and they're very, very light and pastel colored. I don't know if you can see, but the colors are just really, really subtle. And one of the ways that I look at is I look at the end of the marker to really distinguish their colors from one another. And I am creating a little background on the right-hand side so that I can write a little bit about the day, because I actually didn't do that yet. I don't have any space right now on the page to really write about the day and summarize it. So I made a background there. Not the most even looking background, but once I start writing on it, it should be fine. I also took out this Kokuyo pasta marker in this yellow-green color. And what I'm going to do, since I'm not going to write on the left page, I'm just going to color in the rest of the page like a little background. And I'm going to put some stickers on that side later, but I just really felt like adding more color to the left-hand side, so I just did that with the pasta marker. And now I'm going back on the right-hand side to write a little summary of the day with the Uniball Signo DX in 0.38 millimeters. The color that I'm using is blue-black. And yeah, I just wrote a quick summary of what happened that day. We had lunch and we hung out at the mall. And we even took a photo booth picture back at the hotel my friend was staying at, which the photo booth photo is in my regular size traveler's notebook. As I mentioned before, I'm adding some stickers here. They're just flowers, and I just thought it would look cute there. There's really no huge rhyme or reason as to why I put those there, but I think it looks a little more complete now. And that is pretty much the end of this journal with me session, and I really enjoyed how this spread turned out with the photo accordion and a little illustration of where I went that day. And it's a different style in this passport size traveler's notebook than what I'm normally used to in a regular size traveler's notebook. And that's what was so enjoyable about it, I think, is memory keeping in this small size. I hope you enjoyed watching this journal with me session. I hope to be back next time with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.